welcome to the fourth race weekend of the DTM season 2011. We're here in the beautiful Lausitzring, and behind us we can see Hans-Werner Aufrecht, who's celebrating his 25th anniversary as a member of the board of the DTM, so that is a very special day. And we experienced a lot this weekend. It was a very, very exciting race weekend. Here are the highlights. Enjoy.
Yeah, thanks very much, Farina. This is round 4 of the 2011 DTM. We're at the Lausitzring in East Germany, and it's a track which in the past has tended to favour Mercedes-Benz. 11 races have been held here, and rival Audi has won only twice. Let's see what they can do. Conditions, well, blustery, quite cool at 19 degrees, and a big crowd of some 63,000 people want to see the action. So let's check out this track, which was built on an old open cast coal mine, courtesy of Hankook. Originally, of course, the tri-oval built for champ car racing, so we're just two held here. This is where Alexandra Zanardi had that horror crash. Start in front of the massive grandstand, and then a run down to a very tight left-hand corner. Here they go, heavy braking down to second gear, and then we're in the infield of the oval now, and the track twists left and right. It will bring them back briefly onto another section of the tri-oval. Then followed by one of the two longer straights on the circuit. The animation, of course, showing Mercedes and Audi. Long right-hander. That one seems to go on forever. Then the short shoot now, heading towards those huge grandstands. And then another close-on hairpin bend, left-hander. And then the circuit flicks right. Another long right-hander, with hardly a straight section at all, into another right-hander, which really tightens up and does a hairpin, a horseshoe in effect, back onto the tri-oval, up onto the banking, running as close as you can to the wall just there, and then heading across the start-finish line, and that's a lap of the Lausitzring. Yes, he celebrates Bruno Spengler, his third pole out of 4 races this season. The French-Canadian was flying.
It's going to be a long race, but I will give my best from the start on, try to stay in front. It's going to be a tough race. I think everybody is very quick, very close. We were a couple of drivers in like 1/10 of a second this morning, so it's going to be really tough, but I will give everything I have to win the race.
And it was an all Mercedes-Benz front row. Jamie Green, despite the lockup, was second fastest.
Yeah, it's been a very good day today for the Mercedes team. The cars worked really well. I drove very well in all the qualifying sessions, but unfortunately I pushed a bit too hard in Q4 and lost some time, so it's second on the grid. But the main thing is the race tomorrow, and I'm in a good place to go for the win, so I'm really looking forward to it.
And Matthias Ekstrom, yes, the Super Swede is back. Finished third fastest.
It's, I think P3 is okay. I mean, I had 2 pretty hard races in Zandvoort and Red Bull Ring, so coming here on the weekend, we struggled a bit yesterday in the morning, and we got everything together for qualifying. And I mean, with used tires, I would like to have been more competitive, but in the end, P3 is okay.
Austrian winner Martin Tomczyk, again fast. He was 4th fastest. And what about this man? Mike Rockenfeller injured, so Tom Christensen, the Great Dane, stepped in to take his place in the yellow Audi.
Basically, I'm just here, and it's not about me. I'm just here to do the best job I can. And if Sunday night a few people will tell Dr. Ulrich that to choose the old guy from Denmark to replace Mike for this weekend, that was not a too bad job, then I would be happy.
Tom qualified in 7th place, but Timo Scheider didn't make it past Q2.
Yeah, a disappointed team, I would say, and disappointing qualifying for us. We struggled already this morning and we decided for a different setup. Then we went back with the other setup. But at the end of the day, it's maybe something in between which we have to choose. We lost all of the time in the last sector, and we'll compare that with my teammates now, and we'll see what the mistake was or the problem was.
Despite his recent newly found form, Ralf Schumacher only qualified 17th.
Well, I think in general it was difficult this weekend. I was expecting that, so it's no real surprise for me. It's a shame to be out in the first one, but today it was so tight and I just didn't feel too happy with the car, so it was expected.
Let's check out the positions. Spengler and Green we told you about, Ekstrom, Tomczyk, then Gary Paffett, Oliver Jarvis, Tom Christensen, Albuquerque, Timo Scheider and Christian Vittoris. The top 10 there. Good performance by newcomer Albuquerque. Molina, Mortara, Van der Zande, Susie Stollard, DC David Coulthard, Marco Engel, Ralf Schumacher and Rahal Frey complete the top 18. Perhaps the biggest story of the 2011 DTM is the re-emergence of Martin Tomczyk as a potential race winner. He proved it, of course, at Spielberg with a great victory there. And let's not forget, he is now in one of the older cars, demoted, maybe, to the Phoenix team. But he's really gelled there very well.
I'm now here with Martin Tomczyk. You're starting today in P4. That was a very exciting qualifying. And it's not looking too bad for you to go all the way to podium?
Yeah, that's right. But you never know, you know. The three guys in front of me, they're quite tough in DTM. They are long enough there. They know how to fight. So it will get really hard, I would say.
Now we saw a brilliant race in Spielberg from you. That was your first victory since 2009, I believe. Does that mean you're back in the flow?
Yes, definitely. I mean, you feel it in the whole team. Everyone is really motivated, and the qualifying yesterday was brilliant, like you said. So for me, it's just one goal: go forward as far as I can.
But how come you're now driving in an old car, 2008 car? It took you, in order to wake up, basically, you have to drive an old car now to show everybody, hey, I'm on fire.
It's nice if it is like that. It was not planned, but you know, you do always the best out of what you get, and that's definitely a good package this year. And I really love racing again, and I hope I can show it the spectators as well today.
And what's the strategy in order for you to end up on the podium today?
Yeah, you know, you have to just start the race and see where you are, and from that point on you do your strategy and hopefully it works out.
Getting ready for the race, and Verena Wright is down there with championship leader Bruno Spengler.
Fourth race and third pole. So far it's looking very good. You're dominating the championship. What's your feeling for today?
Well, I was very happy yesterday for sure. We have a good run at the moment. Today is a new day and I'm starting from pole, so it's for sure looking good. But the race is going to be long. You never know what can happen. The weather may be a bit strange, so we'll see what happens. But I for sure give my best to finish first this race.
Yeah, Bruno Spengler, who led much of the championship last year. Drivers getting ready for the start of the race. So far this season, it's Audi 2 and Mercedes-Benz 1. Mercedes, of course, dominating last year. Jamie Green in the silver-plated AMG car. Jamie, the man from Leicestershire, who has been promoted this year to the top squad. Getting ready, Matthias Ekstrom. Hasn't had a very good start to the season, the Swede, but qualified well here. This is a car you certainly can't miss. Martin Tomczyk. They're calling him the king of the used cars. When in actuality, all these cars have been used for at least 2 seasons, 2.5 seasons almost now. Gary Paffett getting ready. Just hasn't really gelled with his car this year. Oliver Jarvis had a great race in Austria, back in the speed. Looking for a good performance from him today. And how will Tom Christensen go? Well, good to qualify in 7th place after 2 years away from the DTM. He basically decided to just concentrate on Le Mans. Of course, he never got to drive in the race because of the Alan McNish accident. And another man who had a big accident there was Mike Rockenfeller, still feeling the effects of that 300-kilometre-an-hour smash into the barriers. Now Schumacher getting ready. And problems there for Susie Stoddard. Well, Susie Stoddard's car is being pushed away, and that's unusual. Obviously a big problem.
I hear something with the brakes. The race ended for you before it even began.
Yeah, it's really hard to take, but these things happen in motorsport. Unfortunately, I drove to the grid, everything was fine, and the car started losing a lot of fluid from the front brakes, and my team tried to repair it, but there just wasn't enough time. But, you know, it's the first time it's happened to us. Normally, these guys do a terrific job, so just one of those things. It's really hard for me to now watch the race, but yeah, that's it.
We are just about to start here, round 4 at Lausitz. Team bosses watch on. The lights, 4, 5 red ones, they will go out. Who will make the best start here? And that run down into that very tight corner where they turn off the tri-oval. Spengler makes a good start. And they all filter through there, not too much problem. Jamie Green pushing hard, Spengler, then it's Tomczyk. Spengler in the lead from Jamie Green, then Spengler. Tom Christensen there in the mix. Timo Scheider trying to come out of the pack. See the wind farm behind here on the track, which was built on this open cast coal mine. That tri-oval's not used these days. Looking backwards now. But Tomczyk up there in 3rd place. Mercedes versus Audi. BMW will be launching their new car in 2 or 3 weeks' time. They'll be showing us that one. Christian Vittoris in the silver blue car in the middle of the pack. There they go, past our camera, up against the wall to complete this first lap. Spengler, Green, Tomczyk, then Gary Paffett, Ekstrom, Christensen, Jarvis and Scheider. Good to see Gary Paffett nearer the front this time. Look at Martin Tomczyk. He is pushing hard. He wants to split those 2 Mercedes-Benz. Green going well. And Spengler seems to have pulled out a little bit of a gap. Jarvis in the red and white car. Bit of a lock-up from the Playboy machine. On-board shots here. Green and Tomczyk, that was the shot from Tomczyk's car. Tomczyk pushing hard. Remember, the usual 2 pit stops. Here we are, back down into this first corner. And there's Christensen in the yellow Audi. Great to see Tom back in the DTM, just one-off guest performance. Rocky should be fit for the next race, which of course is at the little Norris ring. And look at this great move by Tomczyk, dives down the inside, perfect on the brakes. And Tomczyk splits the 2 Audis and gets in front of Jamie Green. Super, super move there by Tomczyk. Spoke to Dr. Ulrich about him at Le Mans, and he said, yes, it has given him a wake-up call, demoting him to the older machines. Remember, they are a little bit lighter. They don't have such good aero on them, though. And these cars do pull a lot of downforce. That is Matthias Ekstrom in the Red Bull car. Thought I saw another move down the inside there by Scheider. There's a replay, though, of that passing manoeuvre by Martin Tomczyk. The man who loves those easy rider motorbikes. And there, Jarvis moving up a slot. Ekstrom seems to be going backwards. There's the onboard shot of it. Ollie Jarvis had that great third in Austria to show that he truly deserves a place in the Audi top squad, but he's got to keep it up, of course. Molina 9th, Albuquerque 10th, Rahal Frey, the only lady in the race because of Susie Stollard's problem with the brakes, is at the back of the field at the moment. The Swiss girl still learning the ropes of the DTM. David Coulthard, likewise, hasn't really unlocked the key of making one of these DTM cars go quickly. Interesting track, this. A mixture of fast and slow corners. There is Tomczyk then, in second place. Will we see some different strategies? We did in Austria. We saw drivers staying out for a long time. Spengler leads Tomczyk. On board with Ollie. 4th and 5th, Paffett and Jarvis separated by 3 or 4 cars lengths. Brits together. Spengler, Tomczyk, Green, Paffett. Jarvis, Timo Scheider, look, in 6th place, ahead of Ekstrom. Schumacher still down in 15th. Timo Scheider having a very good run here, putting in some sparkling lap times. Look how close they go to the wall here, and they'll be close to the wall in Lausitzring. Whoa, and Gary Paffett almost overtaken by Ollie Jarvis. British battle going on. Spengler out in front. Spengler, who leads the championship. Spengler, of course, started in grand style at the opening round in Hockenheim. You see the start again. Going through the centre of your picture was Jamie Green. There's the gold carter Rahal Frey. But Spengler got the best drive into that tricky, sharp left-hander at the end of the pits, with quite a bit of clear air between him, and that's where, well, bouncing over the curb goes the Autotest car of Scheider, but that's certainly where Tomczyk was making up a place as well. Oh, look at this fierce action. David Coulthard getting stuck in the yellow Mercedes. There's Ralf Schumacher. That's the white car. Pit stop window is between lap 13 and lap 39. They'll have to stop twice during that period of 20 laps. That's Renger van der Zande just pushing hard in the red car. There they are on the banked section, which brings them back past the start-finish line. And look at DC. DC certainly on the move. And the Playboy car gets demoted 2 places. So Eduardo Mortara in that black and white machine loses a bit of bodywork there as well. And one of the dive planes hanging off the back. So Mortara is struggling. Vittoris side by side with him there, but Mortara just manages to force his way in front, but then he gets nerfed out of the way. And David Coulthard, did he see anything quite like that in Formula One? There's Maro Engel in the GQ car. And a little tap, and 2 or 3 taps actually into Matara. So some pretty tough racing out there from the newcomers. But look at this. Tomczyk really pushing hard now after leader Spengler. Could Tomczyk just pull out a major surprise and win 2 races in a row? He goes for the inside. He's so good on the brakes there, but doesn't quite do it. Bruno Spengler knows this track well. Hugely experienced in the DTM. The French-Canadian, and we got the opening pit stops. Got Albuquerque coming in. There he goes into his box. Ekstrom. 4 wheels and tyres go on, and the can's fallen off. He actually braked and it stopped. Now they did introduce a new rule after Hockenheim where that happened a couple of times, that they're going to fine them, but I think he's probably all right there because it actually departed in the pit lane, not on the racetrack itself. So a bit of a miscue, that won't help him. Let's see what happened to Ekstrom here. Tyres go on, and the can just hadn't been pulled out. With quick thinking, he braked, can flew off, and then he just lit it up again, and out he went, but valuable seconds are lost. And there's fractions a second between those 2, but pit stop here for Bruno Spengler, and he comes in. Tomczyk goes into the lead. Spengler stopped. Can he get under the 3 seconds? No, 3.7. That's a sort of averagely, massively fast pit stop, if you know what I mean. And still bits of carbon fibre, I should say, flying around. So now we're in this section of the race where some people are staying out, others are coming in. About half the field has made their pit stop. There is Gary Paffett. And Paffett having a big lock-up puff of smoke from the Hankook. Paffett, whose season just hasn't been going that well. Former champion, of course. On board with the number 14. Martin Tomczyk out in the lead at the moment. When is Tomczyk going to come in? There he goes! No, he doesn't. Thought he was going to turn in there, but he decided against it. Jamie Green, though, in the pits. And the HWA boys are all tension, energy, and there they go, diving in for the pit stop. And away they go. Over a dozen guys changing those wheels, unlike Le Mans. If you watched Le Mans, you will see they basically only have a couple of people, and only 1 wheel gun allowed at any one time. They can use all 4 wheel guns in one go here at the DTM like they can in Formula One. Jamie Green taking a lot of curb there. And Green chasing Gary Paffett. And now the Audi app team boys come out again. And who is that for? There's the Paffett Green struggle. There is Tomczyk. Martin Tomczyk, who spent most of his racing career in the DTM, and he does peel off this time into the pits. He put in some quick laps just before that. Were they enough to catapult him out of the pits in front of Bruno Spengler? I'll have to do one of those lightningly fast 3-second stops. The boys from Phoenix go to work. Out he goes, 3.2. That could help. And here he comes. Short pit lane, much shorter way around. There he goes, out in front of Bruno Spengler. Just Tomczyk there takes the lead from Spengler. Great pit work, some super quick laps just before the pit stop. So that effectively is the battle for the lead. Of course, there's 4 or 5 cars in front of them. They haven't stopped at all. One of them is Timo Scheider. As we see this pit stop replayed. Bounces a little bit as it falls down. Engel comes in behind him. Just bounces up off the rubber tyres and came out just ahead. Jarvis here, chasing fellow Brit Jamie Green. This battle is on. Only Timo Scheider has stayed out long. This is for P5. And I think Timo Scheider's run out in clean air could catapult him up the field a little bit. This strategy can work from a driver who started down the field. On board with Jarvis putting the pressure on Jamie Green, but he can't find a way through. There's Timo Scheider, twice the champion. Here's Oliver Jarvis. Whoa, and it's all getting a bit tight there. Green versus Jarvis. The Audi boys are out waiting with the tyres. Is that for Jarvis? Yes, it is. Jarvis dives in. Here comes Jarvis for his pit stop. It seems oh so slow on that pit's rev limiter. Look at those black lines. The tyres go on. That's slick. That's 3.1 for Oliver Jarvis. Jarvis rejoining just behind Miguel Molina. Molina has been working his way up the field. Great drive by the Spaniard in his second year in the DTM, in the second of the Red Bull cars. Timo Scheider still staying out there. Here he comes, Scheider finally on lap 29. Comes in for his first pit stop. I suspect this will be a pretty short stint. So, Timo Scheider, so popular in Germany. Let's see how quick these boys can do it. Clock ticks away. 3.6, that's good enough. Timo Scheider rejoining. He's behind Spengler. Gary Paffett makes a pit stop. Timo Scheider is now in 3rd place. Well, he must have put in some very, very fast laps when he was in the clean air. Good strategy has catapulted him up the field. Remember, he started from 9th place. Gary Paffett has pitted for a 2nd time already. There is Paffett. And Molina is slowing. Problem with Molina. He sort of lost some drive. Well, that's a disappointment for the young Spaniard. There's Ralf Schumacher. Hasn't really made much progress up the field. Remember, he had a great result in Austria, finished 2nd there, but hasn't shown that sparkle here at Lausitz. Ralf saying that he much prefers these new Hankook tyres to the previous rubber, getting a much better feel for the car, but it isn't working here. Bruno comes in for his second stop. The boys go to work. At 2.7, that's fantastic. That should win the beer. They have a special competition for the quickest pit stop, and the crew get several crates of beer. And I think that will win it. 2.7. Magnificent job. So everything mixed up a little bit at the moment. Here comes Tomczyk for his second stop. Lap 33. Can he retain his lead post this pit stop? Was a little bit longer, 4 seconds. Where's Bruno Spengler? Tomczyk out well ahead of Spengler. Oliver Jarvis, here's a message coming from the Deutsche Post runner crew from race control. There's Mortara. Mortara comes into the pits.
Yeah, I mean, I had several contacts with Engel firstly, and then Vietoris. We will say only disappointed. And after the race in Spielberg, already contact with Engel. You know, it's time to be a little bit painful for me. But they will say it's probably racing. Then I will start the race too.
Well, he's picking his words pretty carefully there. Incidentally, that messenger was taking a €2,000 fine to Ekstrom's team for that can, but no time penalty. So they'll have to write out a cheque for €2,000. Jamie Green has completed his pit stops and now is down in 7th place behind Oliver Jarvis and Miguel Molina. On board with Green, chasing Molina. Jamie Green's car in that silver foil livery, which was run last year by Ralf Schumacher. Tom Christensen running in the top 10, somewhat anonymously, but I'm sure he's enjoying himself. Because he had a huge shunt in the DTM at Hockenheim, what was it, 4 years ago now? Might have been 5. Huge T-bone shunt, which put him out of racing for quite a long time. A little surprised that he's decided to climb back into a DTM car. Here is Tomczyk then, from Spengler. Still, of course, the non-second pit stopper is in the lead. But he's going to drop behind them. Timo Scheider then playing this completely different plan, different strategy. And here he comes now. Again, some quick laps when he was out in the clean air. Will it be good enough to catapult him between the leader, Martin Tomczyk, and the second place, Bruno Spengler? We'll find out in just a few seconds. 3.1, it all looks so calm, doesn't it? Here he comes out. And yes, Scheider's in front of Spengler. Timo Scheider, what a run. Tomczyk in the lead. But Timo Scheider, with that different strategy, has gone all the way up to a second place. Then it's Paffett, Jarvis, Molina, Green and Christensen. Battle still going on between Jarvis and Paffett for P4. Molina and Green battling for P6. There's Jarvis pushing Paffett. And that's Jamie Green's camera. Tries to go down the inside of Molina. Just not quite enough room. Spaniard defending well. Man who came out of World Series by Renault 3.5 if you will. But look at Martin Tomczyk. What a lead he's got. Tomczyk, Scheider, Spengler, Paffett, Jarvis, Molina, Green and Christensen. They're the drivers in the points. Then it's Albuquerque, Vitoris, Engel, Ekstrom just faded all the way back to 12. Can't really explain that. Schumacher has made little progress in 13th, Van der Zande. David Coulthard in 15th. And then I think behind that it's Rahal Frey. But this is the battle of the race at the moment. Jamie Green goes down the inside. No, he doesn't get through again. Across those red and blue rumple strips. Green pushing as hard as he can. And look at Jarvis trying to get past Paffett. So some copybook defensive driving going on here at the Lausitz. And some feet are bobbling in the style of Christian Horner. And all the time Tomczyk has a substantial lead. The man who never looked like winning last season until his Austrian victory. He hadn't won since the Nürburgring in 2009. Tomczyk and Scheider, 6 seconds. That's a huge gap in DTM terms. And they seem happy at Audi. Look at the smile on Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich's face. What a weekend he had 7 days earlier at Le Mans. Those 2 huge shunts. But finally, of course, the great victory by the sole remaining Audi. And oh dear, there, slowing there is Molina. Molina pulls it offline. Something has gone wrong with Molina's car. Consternation at Audi now. Let's see. Banged it over the curb. Maybe that was something to do with it. Then it instantly slowed.
The performance of the car was perfect. Everything was good. And yeah, until that at the end something happened with the transmission, something was broken. And that's all. But it's bad because the performance was there, the car was really good, and would be easy to score the first points.
Yeah, disappointment for Molina. Meanwhile, Tomczyk maintaining that lead of some 6 seconds from Timo Scheider. There's Scheider there, the white car. And then Spengler. And then Paffett. That's the top 4. Paffett still being chased by Oliver Jarvis. Then Green, and then Christensen, Albuquerque in the blue car, being chased by Vitoris. Engel is 10th, Ekstrom 11th. Ekstrom must be unhappy with the handling of his car. We'd expected to see him right near the front. Again, Vitoris starting to push, try and get into the points now. In front of Albuquerque, one of the rookies. Indeed, they're both rookies in this series. Torres also racing in GP2, a lot of experience in the F3 Euro Series, knows this circuit from that. Now we fast forward to the final lap here. Well, what a season it's proving to be for Martin Tomczyk. This new colour scheme that we can't miss. And he can't miss the checkered flag now, because for the second time in 2 races, victory there to Martin Tomczyk. Excellent drive by him. Timo Scheider comes home second, moving right up from the middle of the grid. Still waiting finally for Spengler to come third. Paffett fourth, then it's Oliver Jarvis. So, a different race, a fascinating race. Lots of strategy went on. Great strategy there from Timo Scheider. Good strategy from Martin Tomczyk. Victory margin 5.4. Spengler third, just drops out of the lead of the championship. Gary Paffett fourth, Jarvis, Green, Christensen. Good drive by Tom, really.
Congratulations, what a brilliant race, absolutely brilliant. And now it's time that you agree that you are in fact a title contestant.
At the moment I'm leading the championship, and I have to say it feels really good. It feels really, really good. So therefore I keep pushing and see where we are on the next race. But for now I'm absolutely happy. It was an incredible weekend, and after 6 years not winning on Lausitzring with such a gap winning, it's unbelievable.
And it was an Audi 1-2, Timo Scheider second, coming up from P9.
From P9 and then all the way on the podium. That's fantastic. How do you feel?
Awesome, I had an awesome car. The guys did an awesome strategy, and I just did what they asked me, and they asked me quite often for faster lap times, and I was pushing from the beginning to the end. I did more or less a qualifying race, and it worked out. We took a different strategy to all the others. In the end, to be on the podium is a great feeling after such a strange beginning of the season.
There's the trophy presentation. Well, Bruno Spengler from the pole, finished third, must be a little disappointed.
We did everything we could today, but today was not really our day. We finished third, but you know, you cannot be really, really disappointed in DTM when you finish third. It's a tough series, everything is so close together, so could have been worse. Also, we have to concentrate for the future, for the next races, and try and do better there. But today, 6 important points for the rest of the championship.
And there he has 29, Tomczyk has 30, Timo Scheider is third. But what about Matthias Ekström? What happened to him?
Yeah, the first thing we were struggling quite a lot with that the car was having a lot of oversteer, and I couldn't brake, and also the balance was a lot to the front. And then after the pit stops we got a little better, and for the last run when the track grip came higher, then it was okay, but then it was too late.
And what about the man who drove this car, super sub Tom Christensen, the 8 times Le Mans winner? He must have been happy with getting into the points. Yeah, TK, he finished in an excellent 7th place.
It was quite a good race, where the car now is still completely in one piece. It looks as good as it did before. So the mechanics can bring it to Norrisring, and hopefully Mike can get in it, and hopefully you can have... maybe Dr. Ulrich would say it was not a too bad choice under the circumstances that Mike couldn't do it, that they now took the old guy from Denmark to replace him for this weekend.
Yeah, and Rocky should be back in 2 weeks' time. Meanwhile, the champagne sprays, and it's been a very busy time for Dr. Ulrich. DTM race in Austria, victory for Audi there. Le Mans, victory for Audi. Here, victory for Audi. Can they win at the Nürburgring 24 hours next weekend? Well, we can hear now from the team boss himself.
Get a great result out of it. Miguel was a little bit unlucky. I think driving over one of the Ludwigs, he was breaking his clutch. That's really a pity, because he was in a nice position. And as well, Oliver did a good race. Yeah, it was just a strong team performance, and it's great now to lead the championship.
They lead the championship. They're a bit downbeat here at Mercedes-Benz. Let's hear from their boss, Norbert Haug.
Cloudy skies for Mercedes-Benz, starting in the first row and then on the podium in third and also 4th place.
Well, I can, well, some clouds are there, but not for us. We have been quick enough for pole, for double pole, but not quick enough in the race. We had a series of 5 wins here, and it's sad, but every series comes to an end at one stage. Tomczyk and Phoenix already did a good job, so congratulations for that. As I said, 5 wins in a row, and now it's the other guys that have won. That's normal in motorsport, that happens.
So this crowd saw Martin Tomczyk make it 2 in a row, the first man to do that in a non-current car. Certainly a good race for him at the Lausitzring.
We certainly experienced a very stormy race here, and who would have guessed how quickly things can change in the DTM? Mercedes-Benz was in the first row, but in fact Audi actually aced this race. Martin Tomczyk won this race, and in second place Timo Scheider from P9 all the way on to second place, and a little disappointed in the third place Bruno Spengler. And in fact, very interesting to see as well that Martin Tomczyk is now leading the championship and Bruno Spengler is 1 point behind. So anything is possible. We'll see you at the Lausitzring. Until then, bye-bye.